Hey, this is Jonesy from Jonesy TV coming at you with the GeekCast number 5. This week we'll be talking about Luke Cage, the new Marvel Netflix TV series based on the character Luke Cage, or as he's known, not Iron Fist, I believe, Power Man in the comics. And this show is a pretty great show. I haven't watched all the way through it, but I've reached episode 7. And I just, this week since it was released, newly released, I wanted to talk about it a little bit and give my thoughts. And so I really do like this new show, and Marvel has really done a good job establishing different feels for every one of their shows. Like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., you sort of have that more lighthearted feel, even, with the introduction of the darker tone in Ghost Rider, you still have that lighthearted feel. With Jessica Jones, you have that noir kind of feel, the different vibe. Daredevil, it's that dark, gritty tone. And Luke Cage is really, I would say it's close to the other Netflix shows more than S.H.I.E.L.D., but it's got a different tone, and it's really hard to describe. Like, it's a little bit more lighthearted than Daredevil and even Jessica Jones. And I think that Cottonmouth, the villain, who is also called Cornell Stokes, he is like a lesser villain so far from what I've seen. Of course, he could become, but I feel like Daredevil was so centered, especially season 1, around Wilson Fisk, and the Purple Man was the big villain in Kilgrave in season 1 of Jessica Jones. But Cottonmouth, he seems to be like he's a aggressive force, but he's not necessarily, as at the beginning of the show, as big of a villain as the others two were. He sort of grows into this villain, and it's sort of cool because I feel like Luke Cage does a great job with characters like, for example, the guy who plays Detective Scarf. Detective Scarf's this dirty cop, and you figure this out throughout the show. But the thing is, he's such a well-rounded character that you actually sort of are rooting for him, and you don't want him to die because, you figure out some stuff that happened to him in the past about his son. And the characters are so well-rounded in this show, even, of course, Cornell Stokes or Cottonmouth, that you really start to feel even for the villains, and you can sort of see their perspective. And really, that's when you know a show is fantastic, when you can see the different, why certain characters act certain ways and why villains are the way they are. And some of the villains have good intentions, but in the end, what they're doing is wrong. And it's really good show. I'd also say that Luke Cage's character, played by Mike Colter, he just plays the role perfectly. He's fantastic. And I'd say that the guy who plays Pops, I forgot his name, but he is such a good actor, and he's in he really, his whole character arc that's a little bit shorter than other characters, it really sets up the show and sort of sets into motion how the other characters are gonna act throughout the rest of the show, and that performance was really fantastic. But I would have to say the action is off the charts. Like all the other Marvel action shows on Netflix, the action's off the charts. Cinematography is beautiful. It's got this yellow theme. Jessica Jones, of course, had the purple, and Daredevil has that red. But they really used the theme really well. It was also cool to see them use the Harlem setting really well. It has a lot of African American undertones to it, and definitely a lot of African American, it deals with a lot of African American issues, and it does it in a way that doesn't feel forced. It feels organic, and so I think with all the stuff going on, of course, with Ferguson and now with Charlotte, it really, it's funny because the show reflects that, but not in a way that's aggressive and annoying like some shows try to reflect modern issues. It's sort of an undertone, and it really deals with that a lot. And I'm a white boy from Indiana, and I really don't know that much about African American culture, but I feel like I've learned a little bit even through just watching this show. That all being said, it's not forced. You still got this awesome action show about a superhero who you care about, and you even start to care about the villains because they're so well rounded. So Luke Cage has been phenomenal to me. I can't wait to give my reviews once I'm finished with it. It's definitely one of the best shows on Netflix right now, and best superhero shows to be released in a long time. And I really like the characters. I really like the whole world they've set up. It feels different, even though it's set in New York. It's got a different feel than Daredevil and Jessica Jones, and I really like it. It's just fantastic, and I'm trying not to give away too many spoilers, but because I want you guys to figure out on your own. But really, the story progresses in a great way, and even the flashbacks are fantastic. You see some sort of in Luke's past in certain scenes, but yeah, I love this show, and it's definitely one of the best shows Marvel's released in a long time, and I actually kind of prefer it over season 2 of Daredevil. I still think season 1 of Daredevil's the best Marvel's put out on Netflix, and then of course Jessica Jones. But I mean, it's just really good, and I think you'll really like it if you're a Marvel fan, and if you're just a TV fan in general. It's so open ended. Anybody can watch it and enjoy it. So yeah, I just want to talk about Luke Cage for a little bit. I hope you enjoyed this podcast. Remember liking this to like and subscribe for more videos and more podcasts and more content and TV reviews. This has been Jonesy from Jonesy TV talking to you about Luke Cage. Signing off.